We are in the final week of the second month, defining client needs. Whew. What have I learned? Simply put, to identify the challenges of a client, create a strategy.
In addition to that, I picked up a few bits of information I like, specifically Marco Chase. She creates these visual boards that identifies a specific person in mind so that the client can spend the branding direction. She also has developed a psychographic bullseye map that identifies the group or person between thinking and acting in pop culture and subculture. Quite wonderful. Then there's the Brand Graph by Marty Neumeyer, which was incredibly informative about the value of a brand. He identifies Coca-Cola as valued around 120 billion and only about 50 billion without the brand itself. He also has the phrase, the charismatic brand. I love it. And finally, that idea that marketing today is about creating tribes is absolutely so true. The three business sectors I chose were the following: industrial design, the electronic sector; education, cultural entity itself; environment, sustainable architecture. The industrial design sector, electronics sector, I chose the following companies: Frog Design number 2, IDEO number 3, Ammunition number 9, Carton number 10. IDEO stood out to me because they have quite a heritage they have created. They were involved with Apple from the very beginning and have created much, much more. In education, cultural entity sector, I chose the following companies. According to USA Today, these were the mystery museums: the Newseum, number 4, Historic Auto Museum, number 5, City Museum, number 9, Museum of the Gulf Coast, number 10. City Museum stood out for me because the word museum, we often think of just walking through a temperature-controlled environment where we can't touch anything. The City Museum is a hands-on, climbing, touching, sliding environment that is always changing. The environment, sustainable architecture sector, I chose the following companies: Olga Architects number 3, Urban Space Manager number 8, Adam Kelkin Architect number 12, Tempo Hudson number 14. Adam Kelkin stood out for me because he seemed like an underdog in the eco-friendly world that we're in.
After doing extensive research, I have decided to pursue the City Museum. Seriously, what museum has a 10-story slide, 2 planes, the Big Eli, which is a Ferris wheel on top of the roof, a school bus that's hanging off the top of the roof, the world's longest pencil, the largest pair of underwear, and the cross that came from the East Wing of the Alexian Brothers Hospital here in St. Louis, that is where, in the 1940s, the exorcism that inspired the novel and the film The Exorcist took place. The story goes that during the exorcism, the cross was struck by lightning. So, that's just to name a few things at the City Museum. So,